I wondered if anyone had ever questioned themselves into the taxation payments we pay every year. Has everyone ever questioned the validity of paying tax? I mean, because I've just found the American tax office, and I've also just found the Australian tax office, right? And none of them can answer me the simple question. And that simple question is, where is it stipulated in the law books of tax, where is it stipulated that income tax is compulsory by law to pay? If anyone, and I mean anyone, any tax agent, any person can tell me this, in what clause and what page and what sentence, right, it says that income tax is mandatory by law to pay. If anyone finds that, I tell you what, I would tell you you're a liar. You cannot find it. I've spent all morning looking through every single clause in Australian tax and I can't find it. It's the same as America, right? America have been led to believe that tax is something that you have to pay by law. And there was a case of a guy, I think his name's something like Whitey Farrell or Whitey Harrell or something like that, right? And he went up against the taxation office in America and had an IRS agent sitting with him, plus a prosecutor, and he challenged the IRS officer or agent. He challenged him and he said, where is it in your book of rules and regulations, does it actually say that I have to lodge a tax claim, a federal tax claim, in the state of Illinois? Because the state of Illinois has its own taxation laws, it's not federal, you know. Federal meaning, obviously, there's a federal law to tell you to pay tax. It doesn't exist. IRS agents have actually walked out of the agency exactly on this fact. It's a bit contradictory to terms to think that they could work as a tax officer and the fundamental law that enables them to do their job doesn't exist. And I'm wondering, this is what I'm wondering, right, whether this actually rings true to every country in the world. Because if it rings true in America, I'm pretty sure, I'm not exactly sure yet, but I'm pretty sure it would probably be the same for most other countries. Judging by the fact, if you knew the people who own these banks of the world, and banks, believe it or not, do have a say in taxation laws. They do, because it's money. And whatever money goes through whatever government, whatever society, whatever social group, whatever bloody business, the bank has rights to all of that money. Not just 1 cent, every single cent that they earn or they use or whatever comes from the bank. So when you consider who owns the banks and who sets these tax rates and tax thresholds and all this, it's not the tax office, because the tax office can only tax on the money you earn. So the money needs to be in circulation in the first place. for there to be a tax office. Because if there wasn't money in circulation, then there would be no need for a taxation policy, right? But because there is, the tax office was only set up as soon as they made money available to people, because they knew that they were going to make a profit out of taxing you. Do you really think that the tax office makes money off you? The tax office makes nothing. That is just a front runner for the people that really, really are involved in making money off your suffering. Right? Because when you earn $100,000 a year in Australia, you're paying something along the lines of about 42 to 48% tax. Who sets these rates? Who sets these rates of tax? And who are we actually paying? Because although the tax office would set the threshold for how much you can earn in response to how much you pay in tax, I want to know who sets these rules and regulations. And I know everyone's going to say, well, the politicians do. It's legislation, it's this, it's that. Well, I want to know right then is, if the tax office is meant to be an independent body, then why is government making legislation for the tax office to govern themselves by? It's meant to be this is where it gets all wrong. It falls on its arse, right? Because it says independent government body. But if you're a government body, you cannot be independent. I think that is just fucking stupid. And if anyone just says, all right, well, whatever, then you're mental. You need to get into this fucking shit, man, because we are lied to every day of our lives. And we're led to believe that paying tax is going to help us in the long run. It's going to help society and the money that's available for people in the long run. No, it isn't. It's only going to make things worse. It's going to make you feel shit. Because if you earn 100 grand, right, really you're only taking 50 or 60 grand of that a year home. Because half of it is going on tax. If you can't see the biggest fucking rip-off in the world through tax, it's like just another form of control. Who made these laws, man, to say that if you earn 100 grand a year or 50 grand a year or whatever, you will pay this money? I talked to someone this morning, an Australian tax advisor, right? And I asked her the same question. Is there a law for us making it mandatory for us to pay tax? And do you know what? She ran off to her little supervisor. Then she came back and all she said to me was, you need to write us in a letter. Where's that letter going? I said to him, where's the letter going? And all she did was give me an address. She didn't give me a name. She gave me an address to write a letter to. But I can guarantee you, right, when that letter gets sent to whoever it is, the person who's going to read that will just tell me a load of bullshit. I'll tell you what, you try and research the tax law in Australia and read it. You can't find it. It's so entwined up with all this other bullshit. It actually deliberately sets you on a different path. It doesn't have the option to ask this question. And that's the one thing that I'm investigating right now. I think everyone else in this country should.